Story overview on a seemingly routine flight from Miami to Boston. American Airlines Flight 510 encountered an unexpected emergency that tested the skills and composure of its crew. This incident highlighted the critical importance of aviation safety protocols and the bravery of the pilots who handled the situation with professionalism. American Airlines Flight 510 took off from Miami International Airport on a clear November day, with 150 passengers and a crew of 6 on board. The Boeing 737-800 ascended smoothly into the bright sky, and the mood in the cabin was relaxed. Passengers settled in for the approximately 3-hour flight, enjoying in-flight service while chatting with fellow travelers. The crew, led by Captain Mark Davis and First Officer Sarah Thompson, completed their pre-flight checks, ensuring that everything was in order for a safe journey. About 20 minutes into the flight, while climbing through 15,000 feet, the aircraft suddenly experienced a sharp jolt. Captain Davis immediately took notice of warning lights indicating a potential issue with the engine. Within moments, the crew's worst fears were confirmed: the aircraft was suffering from an engine malfunction. The left engine began to lose power, causing the plane to tilt slightly to the left. Realizing the severity of the situation, Captain Davis quickly assessed the situation while First Officer Thompson communicated with air traffic control. They declared an emergency and requested to return to Miami International Airport for an emergency landing. The calm professionalism of the crew was paramount in this tense moment. As the pilots worked diligently to manage the aircraft, First Officer Thompson made her way through the cabin to inform the passengers of the situation. She calmly reassured them that they were returning to Miami and that the crew was handling the situation. The flight attendants, trained for emergencies, prepared the passengers for a possible evacuation upon landing, demonstrating exceptional composure during the crisis. As Flight 510 descended back toward Miami, the crew executed emergency protocols, preparing for a landing with one engine. Captain Davis maintained control of the aircraft, compensating for the loss of power and stabilizing the flight path. He focused on safely lowering the landing gear while also monitoring the other engine for any further issues. Meanwhile, First Officer Thompson coordinated with air traffic control, ensuring that emergency services were ready for their arrival. The plane approached Miami International Airport, with emergency vehicles lined up along the runway, ready to respond. Despite the intense pressure of the situation, Captain Davis executed a skillful landing, bringing the aircraft down safely on the runway. The aircraft rolled to a stop, and the cabin erupted in applause and relief from the passengers. The crew quickly evacuated the passengers from the aircraft using emergency slides, ensuring everyone exited safely. Following the incident, aviation investigators examined the aircraft to determine the cause of the engine failure. They discovered that a critical component in the engine had malfunctioned, leading to the loss of power. The investigation prompted a review of maintenance procedures for the Boeing 737-800 fleet to prevent future occurrences. The crew of American Airlines Flight 510 received accolades for their bravery and expertise in managing the emergency, and their calm response was commended by both passengers and industry officials. The story of American Airlines Flight 510 serves as a testament to the importance of pilot training, emergency protocols, and the quick thinking required in the aviation industry. The incident reinforced the need for constant vigilance in maintaining aircraft and ensuring passenger safety. Captain Davis and First Officer Thompson became symbols of professionalism and heroism in the face of adversity, demonstrating that, even in moments of crisis, the commitment to safety can prevail. Story overview. On a seemingly routine flight from Miami to Boston, American Airlines Flight 510 encountered an unexpected emergency that tested the skills and composure of its crew. This incident highlighted the critical importance of aviation safety protocols and the bravery of the pilots who handled the situation with professionalism. On a bright November morning, passengers gathered at Miami International Airport, eager for their journey to Boston. Among them were business travelers, families visiting relatives for the holidays, and tourists ready to explore the historic city. American Airlines Flight 510, a Boeing 737-800, was scheduled for a 3-hour flight. Captain Mark Davis, a seasoned pilot with over 15 years of experience, and First Officer Sarah Thompson, known for her sharp decision-making skills, conducted thorough pre-flight checks. As the boarding process concluded, the cabin crew demonstrated the safety protocols with professionalism and care, ensuring passengers felt secure before takeoff. With clearance from air traffic control, Flight 510 taxied to the runway. The engines roared to life as the aircraft took off smoothly, climbing into the clear blue sky. As the plane ascended, the cabin buzzed with conversation, laughter, and the clinking of beverage carts. The flight attendants moved through the aisles, offering refreshments and warm smiles, contributing to a pleasant flying experience. Approximately 20 minutes into the flight, as the aircraft reached 15,000 feet, a sudden jolt interrupted the tranquility of the cabin. The noise of the engines changed, and the aircraft tilted sharply to the left. Captain Davis's eyes widened as warning lights illuminated the cockpit, signaling a critical issue with the left engine. With a calm demeanor, he immediately took control, executing emergency protocols. "We have an engine failure," he announced to First Officer Thompson, who quickly began checking the systems. They both understood the gravity of the situation. Without proper hydraulic pressure, their control over the aircraft was compromised. "Contact air traffic control and declare an emergency," Captain Davis instructed. He focused on stabilizing the aircraft, while First Officer Thompson relayed the situation to Miami Air Traffic Control. The urgency in their voices contrasted sharply with the calmness they projected. They were aware that every second counted, and their training kicked in as they prepared to return to the airport. In the cabin, the initial shock of the situation began to settle in as flight attendants noticed the change in passenger demeanor. First Officer Thompson made her way down the aisle, reassuring passengers of their expertise. "We're experiencing a minor technical issue, but the crew is handling it," she said, her voice steady and comforting. She encouraged passengers to remain calm and buckle their seatbelts, emphasizing that safety was their top priority. The cabin crew began securing loose items and preparing for a potential emergency landing, moving efficiently and without panic. With the aircraft heading back toward Miami, Captain Davis and First Officer Thompson communicated with one another, carefully strategizing their approach. The plane had to maintain a controlled descent while compensating for the loss of power in the left engine. As they navigated through their emergency checklist, First Officer Thompson monitored the remaining engine, ensuring it was operating within safe parameters. Meanwhile, Captain Davis began to mentally prepare for the landing. He needed to align the aircraft with the runway while managing its tilt and descent speed. The air traffic control tower, fully aware of their situation, offered guidance and cleared the runway for an emergency landing. Emergency services were put on high alert, ready for immediate action upon touchdown. "We're going to need all available resources," Captain Davis communicated to the control tower, aware that the situation could escalate. As Flight 510 descended through the clouds, the storm clouds began to gather. Rain started to fall heavily, and the turbulence intensified, making the aircraft feel like a leaf in a storm. Captain Davis fought to keep the plane steady, relying on his extensive training and experience. The runway lights flickered into view, cutting through the rain like a beacon of hope. With emergency vehicles lining the runway, flashing lights punctuated the darkened sky, creating a surreal scene. Captain Davis gripped the yoke tightly, adjusting the flaps manually to compensate for the loss of hydraulic pressure. First Officer Thompson called out altitudes, ensuring they maintained the proper approach speed. As the aircraft approached the runway, Captain Davis made crucial adjustments to align the plane. With a gentle touch, he guided the plane down, relying on intuition and training to navigate the challenging conditions. The wheels touched down with a thud, and the aircraft rolled along the rain-soaked runway. Sparks flew as the tires made contact with the wet surface, but the plane came to a stop without incident. Relief flooded over the cabin as the passengers erupted in applause, grateful for the skilled handling of their flight crew. Immediately following the incident, the crew facilitated a swift evacuation of the passengers using emergency slides. Safety protocols were followed meticulously, ensuring that everyone exited the aircraft promptly and safely. As emergency responders arrived on the scene, they assessed the situation and provided assistance to the shaken passengers. The incident prompted an investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB) to determine the cause of the engine failure. Preliminary findings revealed that a malfunction in the engine's fuel pump had caused the power loss, raising questions about maintenance protocols. As a result, American Airlines conducted a thorough review of its aircraft maintenance procedures and enhanced their training programs for pilots and crew members. The story of American Airlines Flight 510 serves as a testament to the importance of training, communication, and professionalism in the face of adversity. Captain Mark Davis and First Officer Sarah Thompson were hailed as heroes for their quick thinking and skillful handling of the emergency. Their actions not only ensured the safety of their passengers, but also reinforced the importance of rigorous safety protocols in the aviation industry. The incident became a pivotal moment in aviation history, highlighting the need for continuous improvements in aircraft maintenance and emergency preparedness. American Airlines Flight 510 stands as a reminder that, in the world of aviation, every flight holds the potential for unexpected challenges, and it is the resilience and expertise of pilots and crew that can turn a crisis into a safe landing.